Yo. So, for a while I've been contemplating a couple of projects that I wanted to do, but I ultimately have to yield to the fact that I'm already working on several fairly large-scale projects, and so I've decided to unify the projects that I'm doing. So, this is my Whisper and Minecraft video. Multitasking, as it were. So, let me talk to you about the things that I'm working on in this Minecraft world. I like to build things on the ground. I like to build castles. And I prefer to spend the minimum possible amount of time underground, because it's dangerous down there. So, with those goals in mind, I've already built this hobbit hole, beginning house, and it uses a fairly simple design. We just build it directly into the mountain hill thing here, with some basic little amenities. And nearby, I have begun building a mine. And with this mine, I am proceeding meticulously, as is my wont. Oh. I actually built the mine by dodging and tricking some creepers into doing the vast majority of the actual digging here for me. As you can see, when I build a mine, I build it very meticulously and methodically. Having done all of those things, I have decided to open a new shaft. And of course, I've been silly and come off without torches. Now I could just mine and hope that I find some coal. But coal is a resource that I seem to have a difficult time laying hands on. I prefer to manufacture charcoal. Charcoal can be manufactured, as I'm sure you know, with the recipe normal wood on top of wood that you burn. And as you can see, it yields the charcoal. And the charcoal is what is actually powering all of these torches. No coal has been mined from the earth to light the hobbit hole. This is because it's frankly dangerous before you know how to build armor and things like that. And that'll do it there. Now, the reason I am mining, even though my food is relatively low, is because I need to find some more iron ore. I used the first iron ore to build shears, And this is simply because well, I needed to make it to a bed, and I prefer not to kill sheeps. It's inefficient. I know that in Minecraft some people prefer to build tunnels that are only 1 brick wide. I find this claustrophobic and unappealing because even though it's the mine, and I seem to be running out of tool, so we will... Oh, no we won't, because I haven't any wood left. I can't tell you why I am not in the habit of building axes. It's just not something that I ever got into, really. The rate of wood destruction, just punching the tree, has always been something that I found to be perfectly adequate. However, we don't want to deplete the forest because it's another of those useful resources, like the sheep. So, it's my habit to plant whenever I do those kinds of things. I also prefer to use cobblestone in the manufacture of most of my tools. I know that they are not necessarily the most sturdy tools. However, cobblestone is a substance that is not only something you can find in abundance, but also something that you can actually get to the point of manufacturing once you have certain technology at hand. Ah, success. Place the torch. Our number 1 defense against monsters is not armor or weaponry, but the ability to light areas. This is quite a vein. So, now we have the iron ore, and we can begin the next large project. Now, that project is the manufacture of a sustainable food supply, and I can do most of the crafting during the nighttime. We place the torches around our home for the same reason that we place the torches in the mine. We don't want monsters to spawn while we're working, and I expect that I'm going to do a little bit of night farming. Now, as you can see, I've already prepared the area that I am going to use for the planting. And normally it's not my habit to do night farming, again because it's dangerous. However, in this case, I don't have much option. So once again, using our handy charcoal, I will now smelt the iron ore. Now, we won't be using this ore to manufacture pickaxes, or shovels, or tools of that kind. It's certainly useful in that regard. We will be saving most of it to use in manufacture of armor later on. However, the first 3 units that we get out are actually what we are going to use for the manufacture of a bucket. Buckets are by far the single most useful tool that you can have in Minecraft, for many reasons that I will no doubt find need to elucidate on later. Carry around a bucket of water and you need never fear the Enderman. Carry around a bucket of water and you can deal with sudden intrusions of lava into the space where you are mining. And in the winter biome, where we must use torches to keep the snow off of our farm, we can use the water to make sure that the wheat does not dry out, because it seems that if you simply leave it to its own devices, since it snows instead of raining, it's very difficult to get the wheat to grow. And that'll do for that. And because we're clever, when we come back, we'll now have a new supply of charcoal. So, creep quietly out, because it's nighttime now, and prepare the hoe and the seeds that we will use. Coast looks mostly clear. Yeah. We take the iron and we manufacture the bucket. The rest of the iron we can put in storage there. Our primary concern, especially since we're not wearing any kind of armor, is the creeper, although I see a spider. Perhaps you can see the little red dot off in the jungle. That is the spider, to be sure. So, we'll go out into the middle. This is actually one of the more difficult challenges in the winter biome, because it's difficult to manufacture source water. So we use the bucket, but we don't want the water to flow because the game seems to pay attention to the idea of erosion. And with the bucket, create a nice pool. Now, you can plant the wheat garden. This will generate just enough wheat to produce a piece of bread, which will keep me from dying off from horrible starvation. As you can see, I'm running out of little chicken legs there. And to wander off in that way would be dangerous. So, to avoid dying horribly in the night, we'll go inside and sleep in the bed. And as you can see, there is a skeleton, and there's a spider as well. The spider could be quite dangerous since I have no weapon, so we're not going to mess with them. I have resorted to eating zombie flesh from time to time. In this case, that spider gives me pause. So, we'll get out a pickaxe and go and chop him up. So we hear the skeleton there, but he's no doubt burning to death. Oh, no, he's found some shade. That's unfortunate. That's okay. If we sneak carefully, we can kill the skeleton. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm just glad there's no creeper. Yeah? Oh dear, they're gonna kill me off. Oh. And that's my first die. So we reappear here next to the bed. But the starvation problem has been somewhat solved. We can go out here and we're going to finish off that spider. And the string. String is useful for a number of reasons. Oh boy, that skeleton. I'm gonna... with a tree. Skelets are actually, I always want to try and find the skelets and kill them, because their bones are useful, but also because skelets are the most efficient source of arrows that I've found in the game. However, like I said, the skeleton bone is useful, and it gives us the bone meal. I do not used to rely on the bone meal because it'll get you killed if you become too reliant on that. The solution is to farm extensively, so we will eventually expand this wheat until we have lots and lots of wheat. So as you can see, from the 3 wheat bushes, we got 6 units of wheat seed, which means that now we can expand the farm. And that process can go on pretty much indefinitely. Eventually we're going to turn this entire section into the wheat growing facility. Notice, however, that right here the soil does not look quite so well watered. So we can rely on the tree and also the torches that we've placed already to keep off the snow. And oh, I lost my bucket to the monsters, so let's see if I can discover what happened to the bucket. This is why we don't waste iron on building weapons or things like that that go away, because if you ever collect iron, why would you waste it on something so superfluous? Instead, we build our weapons from stone or something like that, and with the iron we can replace the bucket that we just lost. So we can go back to where I dug that hole. And seem to have... yeah, we don't have source water here, that's unfortunate. It's difficult to make source water happen inside of the winter biome. Now, as you can see, it looks rather more well watered, so that we'll be able to depend on the wheat farm. Now, with the wheat, we make the loaf of bread. We start putting away our more valuable resource. Eventually we will manufacture bows using the arrow and the string that we got from the monsters. And as I mentioned earlier, we now have some more charcoal, which we can probably use to manufacture the bevy of torches that we will need for extensive mining. We don't need to carry this around either. This is part of the farming tools, so we'll put it there. So, now we have a supply of food, and we have the beginnings of a good mine, and I'm gonna call that for this video. Next time we will begin on the process of building something interesting, because now we've solved the starvation problem.